You know that voice in your head, the one that's always there, pointing out every little flaw, every mistake? It is just exhausting, right? Well, today we're going to dig into a really surprising idea about where that voice actually comes from. So let's just dive right in.
All right, so let's just start with this question right here. And I want you to really think about it for a sec. Are you your own harshest critic? I mean, do you hold yourself to this crazy high standard that you would never expect from anyone else? Not a friend, not a coworker, nobody. If you're nodding along right now, trust me, you are definitely not alone.
And here's where things get interesting. Because, we usually assume that inner critic comes from insecurity, right? Or maybe a lack of confidence. But what if it's not? What if the real reason for it is actually one of your biggest strengths? Something you might even be kind of proud of.
Okay, so that leads us straight into this idea we're calling the intelligence paradox. It's this super fascinating link between a huge strength and a really common personal struggle. Let's break down exactly how this works.
So here's the key, right here. It turns out that high intelligence often goes hand in hand with a really heightened sense of self-awareness. It's like you can see yourself, your choices, and even your potential in super high definition. But you know what else that HD lens does? It magnifies every single tiny perceived flaw. To really get a grip on this, let's give it a name. Let's call it your internal judge. And listen, this isn't some voice you picked up from a parent or a teacher. Nope. This is part of your own mental software, It's born directly out of that powerful self-awareness we were just talking about. And look at this definition. It's really important. This judge isn't just being mean for the sake of being mean. It's a state of constant self-evaluation. That's the key. Your brain is basically just running a nonstop analysis, using its high-powered hardware to check in on your performance. So the real issue isn't the analysis, it's what it's comparing you to. So you can see how this all connects, right? It's like a chain reaction. Step 1, you have this high intelligence. That's not the problem, it's just the starting block. Step 2, that leads to way more self-awareness. And step 3, well, that awareness creates this internal judge that's always on duty. It's a totally logical flow.
Okay, so if this internal judge is always on, always evaluating, what's the yardstick? What's it measuring you against? This right here is probably the biggest piece of the whole puzzle. And honestly, it's not what most people think. Getting this, well, it can change everything.
And boom, here it is. This is the big reveal. See, a lot of the time, people compare themselves to others, right? To their friends, their coworkers, whatever. But for people with that high self-awareness, the competition, it's not external, it's internal. You're not trying to beat somebody else. You're measuring who you are right now against this perfect, ideal version of yourself that you can see so clearly in your mind's eye. And that inner critic, it lives in the gap between where you are and where your mind knows you have the potential to be. So once you really get that, it allows for this huge shift in how you see things. It means that nagging inner voice, it isn't a sign that you're failing or that you're weak. No way. It's actually proof that your mind can see a better version of you. It's a sign of ambition. It's a sign of having incredibly high standards for yourself.
And really, this is what I want you to walk away with. That voice in your head, it's not a broken part. It's not a malfunction. It's a feature, not a bug. It's just the sound of a really powerful engine trying to reach its full potential. Your mind is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, operating with incredible awareness and the sky-high standards that naturally come along for the ride.
So that leaves us here with this really powerful question to think about. If that internal judge is really just a sign of your own potential, then the goal isn't to shut it up, is it? The real challenge is to harness it. How do you work with those high standards, not against them? How do you turn that constant evaluation into fuel for growth instead of a weapon you use on yourself? That's the real journey, and it all starts right here with this new understanding.